Namaskar and welcome to India First. India had stated in the middle of March that Pakistan's proposal to declare Gilgit and Baltistan as a fifth province was entirely unacceptable. Now, a committee headed by Pakistan's Foreign Affairs advisor Sartaj Aziz had proposed that it be given the status of a fifth province in Pakistan. Now, Pakistan's northern areas have never officially been part of that country. Instead, they have always been part of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir since shortly after the country's independence in 1947. The External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Gopal Bagle has said that Pakistan's position is unacceptable.
The entire state of Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part, has been an integral part, and will be an integral part of India. And no attempt, no unilateral attempt or a step to change that or attempt to change that would have any legal basis whatsoever, and of course it will be entirely unacceptable. I would also say that any such a step will not be able to hide the illegality of the attempt and the illegality of Pakistan's occupation of parts of Jammu and Kashmir, which it must vacate forthwith. It will also not be able to hide the tremendous and very concerning human rights violations and the denial of freedom that have been going on in those parts under Pakistan's control for the last 70 years.
Well, and to discuss the Gilgit Baltistan issue, the attempt by Pakistan to annex this area, we have in the studio Kamar Aga, Senior Foreign Policy Analyst, and Mr. D.K. Dubey is a legal expert with the Jammu and Kashmir Study Center. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with us. We'll start with you, Mr. Kamar Aga. This is an attempt by Pakistan to try and legalize this whole thing. First of all, they already have a tie-up with China to build this economic corridor, the China-Pakistan economic corridor. That itself, of course, India has already objected to. Now, you know, is Pakistan trying to sort of, you know, make this part of Pakistan?
They have been trying for a very long period of time. What they did first they merged.
So as to legitimize the corridor.
Legitimize it. First, what they did, you know, the Gilgit Wazarat as well as Gilgit Agency, they merged both. Then they declared northern territories, and in 70s. Now they are declaring it, you know, as a fifth province of Pakistan, you know. So they have been doing it, you know, trying to annex it for a very long period of time. But the problem, you know, they can do it, you know, because it is an occupied territories. Basically, it's a part of Jammu and Kashmir. This part belonged to the state, you know, the princely state of Maharaja was there.
Right.
And the Britishers have taken a part of it, you know, this agency, Gilgit Agency, on a lease. After the, you know, formation of the Soviet Union, this region is strategically located. Part of it, you know, it is connected with Afghanistan.
Okay.
They have a border with Afghanistan. Then other side is
they have a border with China.
China, you know, this Xinjiang province of China. So it becomes very important. That time, you know, the British took it, and from there they were, I mean, using it, you know, looking at the Soviet Union that time. Later, you know, before independence, you know, they handed over back to the Maharaja, you know, and it was become part
of the legal position is understood because the Maharaja has.
And later, you know, after the independence, the whole big part of it, you know, was occupied by Pakistan.
Sure.
And a part of it, you know, the Aksai Chin was handed over to the Chinese. They have gifted it to China. And now, you know, this region has become again very important because of the CPAC, China-Pakistan economic corridor, which you have mentioned.
Sure.
So it passes through that region.
Right.
I'd just like to add one more thing. You know, this is an occupied territories. Attempt is being made to change the demography of that region. And this is the region which is one of the most underdeveloped. You know, they have not developed at all. Large number of Pakistani forces are being deployed. So human rights violations are taking place. So all these things are there, and on top of large number of Chinese have also.
Okay. So Mr. Dubey, demographically already POK is no longer Kashmiri. So that itself goes against the very principle, you know, through which the whole concept, you know, while India has maintained the Kashmiriyat, the presence of Kashmir in Jammu and Kashmir, the same has not happened in POK at all. So then here it is a method to legitimize something and make it Pakistani territory rather than, part of Jammu and Kashmir, which is what they actually are accepting. It is actually part of Jammu and Kashmir is what they are saying.
Actually, first of all, to understand the whole scenario, we have to understand what the territory belongs to the Maharaja.
Right.
Jammu and Kashmir, Jammu is the Riyasat, first Riyasat, and Kashmir is the part of Jammu.
Right.
So now the king of Jammu and Kashmir had 4 main territories, that is Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit Baltistan.
Okay.
So Gilgit Baltistan was the part of territory of Jammu and Kashmir.
Right.
So as Mr. Aga said, that Britishers had got that territory on lease when the scenario was changed in the world. So after independence, or at the time of independence, they passed a law that was the Independence of India Act 1947.
Okay.
And due to Section 7 of the Independence of India Act, they said that whatever the agreements we having with all the kings, we are seizing now.
All right.
And now the king will be free. Legally,
All right.
factually, they should be free, but the paramountcy should be transferred to the government of India.
Sure.
So if all the agreements broke out right now,
Yes.
and now the Gilgit agency has to came back or had came back to the Maharaja.
Right, right.
Illegally Pakistan occupied it.
That's
Even when we gone to the UNO and Pakistan replied there, but Pakistan never claimed that territory, that territory
It has
is the
never
part
been
of
claimed. It is never part of Pakistan, and this is an attempt to try and make it part of Pakistan,
Yeah,
so that the Chinese can build a corridor through it.
Even China having an agreement with the Pakistan, and in that agreement they said in the proviso
Right.
that if there should be any decision between India and Pakistan, we have to continue with that country.
Okay, fair enough.
Means
So
Chinese
China
make an
has
agreement with
accepted
the
that it's a disputed territory,
Yeah,
but they are
Chinese
still
al-
building a corridor through it. How is that even possible? Is that even legally possible? It cannot be done, isn't it?
It's not legally possible.
And the Chinese have already said that this will not affect the disputed territory. How can it not affect the disputed territory if they're building a corridor right through it?
They have created a dispute. It will never be accepted, or never be accepted any legal court, any court of law. There will be it, international court of law or India. We have all the papers, we have maps, everything, and the Britishers knows about it. They were the colonial power at that time, who are responsible for the partition. Even they have accepted, these things, It was signed by there. I mean, it's a well-known fact of history that the Pakistani army entered into this area, and General Brown was there. He was the head of this Gilgit Scouts.
Okay.
And he collaborated with Pakistanis, So Britishers, one side they were negotiating with Indians and handing it over back to the Maharaja. Actually, the Maharaja. The other side, the General Brown, Major Brown, or whoever was there, he collaborated with the Pakistanis, So it's all mixed up things, But
Okay.
it is very clear. It's a part of India.
Right.
It's a part of Jammu and Kashmir state, and India, this is
entire territory
integral
belongs
part
to
of
India,
India,
yes,
and one
integral
day
part.
India, it will have to merge with India.
Okay.
Pakistan
Sure.
came into existence just 70 years back,
Okay, true
and
enough.
this territory is thousands of years, is a part of India,
Right.
And,
Sure.
I don't think, any court of law would accept this.
Okay, Mr. Dubey, then the CPEC, well, if it's being built, then it will have obviously Chinese troops around the place. I mean, there will be a Chinese occupation. They will be coming there. Already, of course, the governments in these areas, the political parties in these areas don't even want the Chinese in the first place. They are against this whole declaration of a fifth frontier by Pakistan. So the popular mood is already against, and Pakistan is going ahead and trying to make this legitimately, a part of Pakistan, just so that this can be built.
Actually, right now the problem is this: when Prime Minister of India called that now we have to talk with the Pakistan when they are giving back the Pak occupied Jammu
Exactly,
and Kashmir.
absolutely, that's right.
So when we are claiming that, and right
That is
now
the only aspect that's left in the
yeah,
discussion, is what
and
Mr.
and
Jitendra
right
Singh
now
said. Yeah.
Pakistan is separated from the world.
Right.
So now they are trying to save us few territory. So they are trying to legalize Jammu and Kashmir as the part of Pakistan, because whenever we are claiming, or the Prime Minister of India is claiming that we have to get back that territory, they are trying to show that Pak occupied Kashmir is the different thing and Gilgit Baltistan is the different thing. They are trying to show it. Even the constitution of the Pakistan is also not recognized that.
Yes.
Pakistani constitution does not recognize that the Gilgit and Baltistan is the part of Pakistan.
Right.
Even before 1971, when they came with the new constitution of Pakistan, there was no territory like this in Pakistani territories. Even in so many judgments, Pakistani Supreme Court also said that this is not the part of Pakistan.
Okay.
So when the Supreme Court of the Pakistan already said in so many matters that this is not the part of Pakistan, that is why we cannot heard it finally. We cannot give a verdict finally on this issue.
So there's absolutely no legal standing for whatever Pakistan is doing. We're going to take a short break. You're watching India First. We are discussing the Gilgit Baltistan issue. Stay with us.
क्या बात है राशिद? फर्स्ट डिवीजन में पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन करने के बाद भी तुम उदास हो? लेकिन सर वो सोच रहे होगे कि खर्चा कहाँ से आएगा? हाँ? चिंता मत करो, क्योंकि अब तुम्हारे साथ है मौलाना आजाद नेशनल फेलोशिप।
फेलोशिप हमारे लिए सर?
हाँ, तुम्हारे लिए और अल्पसंख्यक समुदाय के उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जिनकी सालाना पारिवारिक आय 2.5 लाख रुपए से कम है और जिन्होंने किसी भी सरकारी विश्वविद्यालय से जूनियर रिसर्च फेलोशिप या एमफिल के लिए आवेदन दिया।
मदद हमारी, मंजिल आपकी।
अपनी अघोषित का डर मुझे चैन से जीने भी नहीं देता। पकड़ा गया तो क्या करूं, किससे मदद मांगूं? ये मदद मांगने का नहीं बल्कि मदद करने का वक्त है। मतलब आज ही अपनी अघोषित आय को प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण योजना 2016 के अंतर्गत जमा कराएं और खुद को चैन सुकून और कई लाखों करोड़ों की मदद कर उनकी जिंदगी को खुशहाल बनाएं। याद रहे, अपनी अघोषित आय को वैध बनाने का ये अंतिम मौका है। ये डिक्लेरेशन हर हाल में 31 मार्च 2017 तक कराएं। ऐसा न करने पर 77.25% टैक्स, सरचार्ज और सेस के अलावा भारी जुर्माना भी भरना पड़ेगा और साथ ही बेपनाह शर्मिंदगी भी। एक अच्छे भारतीय नागरिक की तरह समय रहते आगे आए, देश हित में प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण योजना में सहयोग बढ़ाएं और इसी तरह पैसे भी बचाएं और साथ ही पुण्य कमाएं। आयकर विभाग द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
गुड़गुड़म बुड़बुड़म बुलबुलों का जादू हम आ ई देखे देखे लेट्स अब बड़ा आ बोलो, जल्दी से मुंह खोलो।
देखा?
अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो?
डॉक्टर मुन्नी सही तो है, हमारा मुंह है हमारी सेहत का आईना। मुंह को स्वस्थ रखने से दांत और मसूड़ों के साथ पूरा शरीर स्वस्थ रहता है। मुंह का स्वास्थ्य बनाए रखने के लिए दिन में 2 बार ब्रश करें और खाने के बाद कुल्ला, क्योंकि स्वस्थ मुंह है सेहत का आधार। समझे?
परिंदों के ये घोंसले हमें यकीन दिलाते हैं, सच है ये। तिनका जोड़कर ही आशियाने बनाए जाते हैं। कुछ ऐसे ही बनाया हमने भी अपने इस देश को। सड़कें, स्कूल, हॉस्पिटल, सरकार के हर निर्माण में एक तिनका हमने भी लगाया है, क्योंकि हमने सही समय पर आय कर चुकाया है। अगर किसी कारणवश आपने अभी तक अपना एडवांस टैक्स जमा नहीं कराया है तो असेसमेंट ईयर 2017-18 के लिए अपना एडवांस टैक्स 31 मार्च 2017 तक जरूर जमा करें। और हाँ, अगर अभी तक अपना इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया है तो असेसमेंट ईयर 2015-16 के लिए अपना इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न 31 मार्च 2017 तक अवश्य फाइल करें, ताकि आपका अपना देश, आपका आशियाना बेहतर से और बेहतर बने। आयकर विभाग द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
Welcome back. You're watching India First. We are discussing the Gilgit Baltistan issue, and we have with us in the studio Mr. Kamar Aga, Senior Foreign Policy Analyst, and Mr. D.K. Dubey, is a law expert from the Jammu and Kashmir Study Center. Thank you very much, gentlemen, once again for being with us. Let's turn to you again, Mr. Aga. Now, in the British Parliament, there is an early day motion mentioned by a Conservative MP, Mr. Blackman Bob, and he very clearly states in that motion, which he's asked for a resolution on, is that notes that Gilgit Baltistan is a legal and constitutional part of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, India, which is illegally occupied by Pakistan since 1947, and where people are denied their fundamental rights, including the right of freedom of expression. It further notes the attempts to change the demography of the region is in violation of the state subject ordinance and forcibly and illegally to build the China-Pakistan economic corridor, which further aggravates and interferes with the disputed territory. This is what he states in this. Pretty much
there are
clear.
two things in
Right.
it,
Go ahead.
One is, he reiterated the stand that this is part of Jammu and Kashmir state,
Right.
which belongs to India. Number one. Number two, he also raised issue of human rights violation, which is taking place. You see what is happening in this area. Large number of Chinese have already been settled there. Then huge military presence is there. Then number of militant camps
Right.
are operating there,
Right.
because this is a very strategically located territory where, the militants are operating. One side, the Afghanistan, the other
Right.
side,
Right.
Kashgar region, Xinjiang region of Jammu, China, then India now, the Indian part of Jammu and Kashmir region. So the region become very important for them, Then third thing, underdeveloped this region. Human rights, people of this region, majority population in that region are Shia Muslims.
Okay.
And they look towards India, always been, so
Right.
they are and then what is happening since the time of Bhutto, large number of people belonging to other sects, have been brought and settled there. So
Right.
democratic shift is taking place.
Yes.
Culture, their cultural impact is there, huge impact,
Right.
Their language.
So this
is
goes
present,
against the state
food
subject
system,
ordinance is what he says.
ordinances
Yeah.
are there. Now, on a daily basis, demonstrations are taking place.
Okay.
Large number of human rights activists have been sent to jail, tortured, jailed, in that territories. We get very little information from that territory because foreign journalists or local journalists even are not present there.
Okay.
So we get very, because of now this media, social
Sure,
media, we started
sure.
getting, YouTubes, through
Right.
other media, some information. They're doing exactly the same thing
Sure.
in Balochistan also.
Okay.
The
So-
same process they are also adopting.
Right.
There is also
Absolutely.
the
So,
local population.
Mr. Dubey, given this scenario, is this likely to become some sort of a battleground? It's already, but there are so many groups that are opposing whatever Pakistan is doing there. Then China comes into the picture. Is there a chance that, this will flare up? It could flare up. And India, because it is our territory, will be forced to come in and act.
Actually, a lot of peoples or lot of organizations from the Gilgit and Baltistan and Pak-occupied Jammu Kashmir, Pak-occupied Kashmir approached to the government of India, and they said that if you are of the opinion that we are the part of India, then why not you are taking an action?
Yes.
But unfortunately, government of India never taken any action against the Pakistan, and they never raised the issue. But the stand, whenever we will see the
That's
resolution,
the line of control.
yeah, line of control. Whenever when we see the resolution passed by the UNO, like
Right.
UNCIP, United Nation Commission for India and Pakistan, they said that the territory whatever is occupied by the Pakistan is illegally occupied and they have to leave first.
Right.
And when we communicated with the UNCIP and asked 5 questions, 5 by 5 letters, that who should be there, they said India. Whose military will be there? They said of India. We said that who should be the administrator of that part? They said in India. So legally, constitutionally, that is the part of India.
Right.
And in so many cases, in so many times, in Economic and Social Council, so many organizations raises the voice that they're the biggest human right violation in the world, that is in Gilgit Baltistan by the Pakistani troops.
Right.
But
obviously they're using the force method to try and keep
so
people
the
within
peoples
their,
of the Jammu and Kashmir, people of that part is also approaching to us. Why? Because Pakistan is trying to change the demography of that area.
Right.
And from
And already there is problem in Balochistan.
yeah, that is
which
the
is
problem.
another province of
Yeah,
theirs.
in the same manner they are doing
Right.
so.
So, given this scenario, I mean, when Pakistan is already having problems in Balochistan, now to try and annex another portion and make a fifth province doesn't make any sense. I mean, first of all, you can't even control the provinces you have, and now you want to try and take another province which you already said is actually a part of Jammu and Kashmir.
You know, they have been doing it systematically, you know, and the plan is ultimately both the territories are linked with each other,
Right.
because now these two territories are very important for Pakistan, and as well as China, you know, because of CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is passing through.
Right.
Now they're building mega projects over there. As a result, you know, number one, they have you know, illegally occupied large tracts of land for these projects.
I mean, China has the hope that it wants to reach the port of Gwadar.
Gwadar,
Yeah,
up to
that's
the
right.
Gwadar, you know. So what they are doing, you know, the large number of Chinese are also present there, and along with, you know, the Pakistan is providing them security cover for them.
Okay.
Then, you know, the local for these
Right.
projects, local people are not getting jobs.
Sure.
Because they are not qualified enough, they say.
Okay.
Because there are not many schools, colleges or universities, you know, some old British time.
I'll come back to you, but we need to take a short commercial break. Do stay with us. You're watching India First.
चलो गुड़गुड़म बुड़बुड़म बुलबुलों का जादू हम आ ई देखे देखे लेट्स अब बड़ा आ बोलो जल्दी से मुंह खोलो
देखा?
अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो?
डॉक्टर मुन्नी सही तो है, हमारा मुंह है हमारी सेहत का आईना। मुंह को स्वस्थ रखने से दांत और मसूड़ों के साथ पूरा शरीर स्वस्थ रहता है। मुंह का स्वास्थ्य बनाए रखने के लिए दिन में 2 बार ब्रश करें और खाने के बाद कुल्ला, क्योंकि स्वस्थ मुंह है सेहत का आधार। समझे?
लोन मिल जाएगा ना उसे?
अरे उसके स्टार्टअप का आइडिया ब्रिलियंट है, ऊपर से मैं उसका गारंटर हूँ। लोन सैंक्शन हो गया ना?
आपके अकाउंट में लेन देन ठीक नहीं होने की वजह से वो। अगर आप डिफॉल्ट करेंगे तो आप खुद तो शर्मिंदा होंगे ही, ऊपर से आने वाली पीढ़ी के उन्नति के रास्ते भी बंद कर देंगे। चुकाएं अपना उधार और जीवन में लाएं बाहर। पंजाब नेशनल बैंक।
अस्पताल में गंदगी हो सकती है, कुछ छूना मत और बीमार पड़ जाओगी।
अरे दीदी, अब सब बदल रहा है।
इतनी साफ सफाई?
जी, हम सब ने मेहनत की है ताकि आपके इलाज में कोई कमी ना आए।
बदल रहा है, बदल रहे हैं। स्वास्थ्य केंद्र अब स्वच्छ हो रहे हैं और ये आपके ब्लॉक में भी संभव है। बस पहल करनी पड़ेगी हमको और आपको भी। स्वच्छता का संकल्प करें, स्वास्थ्य केंद्र का कायाकल्प।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
अरे तुम्हारे चेहरे पर ये दाने कैसे?
रात मैंने मुहासू वाली क्रीम लगाई थी जो आप लाए थे।
लाना जरा वो क्रीम।
ये लीजिए।
ओह गॉड, दुकानदार ने तो मुझे एक्सपायरी डेट वाली क्रीम दे दी है।
क्या अब हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते?
क्यों नहीं कर सकते? बिल है ना मेरे पास। जी हाँ, आप दुकानदार की शिकायत कंज्यूमर फोरम में करें। जागो ग्राहक जागो। उपभोक्ता मामले विभाग, भारत सरकार एवं एसोचैम द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
गुड़गुड़म बुड़बुड़म बुलबुलों का जादू हम आ ई देखे देखे लेट्स अब बड़ा आ बोलो जल्दी से मुंह खोलो।
देखा?
अरे ये क्या कर रहे हो?
डॉक्टर मुन्नी सही तो है, हमारा मुंह है हमारी सेहत का आईना। मुंह को स्वस्थ रखने से दांत और मसूड़ों के साथ पूरा शरीर स्वस्थ रहता है। मुंह का स्वास्थ्य बनाए रखने के लिए दिन में 2 बार ब्रश करें और खाने के बाद कुल्ला, क्योंकि स्वस्थ मुंह है सेहत का आधार। समझे?
Welcome back, and we have time now for final comments. So let's turn to Mr. D.K. Dubey first. See, the Parliament of India has already passed a resolution stating that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. All these issues would have to be sorted out anyway, only through India and Pakistan through dialogue. That's the stand that India has taken. But Pakistan, of course, has always been trying to bring in another factor. Either it was, you know, the United States or somebody else, and now they're bringing in China. What should India be doing now?
Actually, they want to make their opinion from the back door. They're not playing with us on the front door.
Right, right.
Because legally and constitutionally and
don't have a stand.
internationally, they
Yeah.
do not having a right to do anything there. But territory is illegally occupied.
Right.
So the government of India having full right to occupy it back again.
Yes.
Whether if we want to say internationally, if we want to see from UNO side, if we want to see the Constitution of Pakistan side, if we want to see from Pakistani Supreme Court side,
right,
all are in our favor.
Right.
And even we passed a resolution, unanimously we passed a resolution that all these territories 2025 or 26 2,25,26,000 kilometers would be with the government of India.
Okay.
Right now we are having 1,01,000 kilometers, but 1,25,000 kilometers is in Pakistani occupation.
Right. So, Mr. Agha, then ultimately, well, there's the LOC. India doesn't want to cross. There is a bilateral discussion that is supposed to take place on this issue, but of course it keeps being held to ransom by Pakistan through terrorism. So really, what is the way forward?
You know, we should wait, you know. Up till now, the government of India has made it categorically clear that this is part of India, this is part of Jammu and Kashmir, and Jammu and Kashmir state belongs to India. So the foreign ministry spokesman have just mentioned about it, you know. Now the next step is, you know, we should come out in support, you know, not only condemnation, you know, but we have to go beyond this, you know. So Parliament is in session. I think within a couple of days the detailed discussion would take place and the outcome will come. Government will have to take some position. We have number of ways, you know, dealing. Number one is bilateral. We have a Simla Accord, then we have a Lahore Declaration that Atal Bihari Vajpayee has signed. Then there are other mechanisms to deal with them, you know. Before that, I believe, you know, government should take up at least the human rights violation which are taking place. Not only this place, but also in
so the human rights issue should be brought to the
China,
fore.
Pakistan,
and the China-Pakistan economic corridor.
So we'll have to talk to Chinese also. We have already started negotiating with them.
So those are the areas that have to be brought onto the front burner. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with us here on India First. Well, India has said that the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part and has been an integral part and will be an integral part of India, and no attempt, no unilateral attempt to change that would have any legal basis whatsoever. India also highlighted the tremendous and very concerning human rights violations by Pakistan in POK in the last 70 years. Gilgit Baltistan borders China on one side and Ladakh on the other side. The China-Pakistan economic corridor also is not acceptable to India as it is being built on Indian territory under Pakistan's illegal occupation. Thank you very much for watching. Namaskar.